This is
Big Bad Bearded Bald Bull, Bob Dean's Better Bargain Basement. Nice. Okay. All right.
that's me.
That's you. Oh my gosh.
Come this way. You'll notice that this is a wooden handle, and this is what we call a metal square D handle. And the shovels and the so on were all built to the size of the person. Now this is for a very tall man. And as soon as the Civil War came along, everything became standardized with metal handles. And here is a shovel that's wooden, but the handle broke on it, so they put a metal one on it, but it had a wooden handle at first.
Okay. Cool.
And everything became standardized after the Civil War because they started using metal in all the shovels. And the size of the shovel became a standardized shovel, but that fork is a specialized one because you could shovel corn on the cob with that, and it's molded up on the sides, and you can get quite a few cobs of corn to shovel into a bin. And as a kid, I would turn the wheel, and it would spit out the corn cob one direction and shell the corn off the cob for the chickens on the other direction. I lived in Beloit, and this is a Fairbanks Morris scales, and I worked in the dairy industry before I became a teacher for 33 years. And the going rate was $1 a day for hired hands, $30 a month, 3 meals a day, and you had to do milking twice a day. Well, at age 12, I went with the machine, and I got a place to sleep and 3 meals a day, and I didn't have to do milking. And as a little kid, I was getting as much as the hired hands were. We didn't have grease guns then, and I had a barrel of metal that I filled with grease, and I turned it up halfway when they all went home to do their own chores and to do their milking, because it was a co-op threshing crew. They all worked for one another. But I would turn it up halfway, and that would last till noon. And then at noon, I would turn it up the rest of the way for the rest of the afternoon. So I was part of the crew, and we had a lug tractor. And when we were ready to go to the next farm, I bolted a wheel over the lugs on both sides, and then we ran the tractor forward, and I bolted another half wheel over the other half of the wheel, so we wouldn't leave lug marks in the blacktop moving the threshing machine from one farm to the next. And I helped level it up and so on. So I was,
and this was all
I was earning my $1 a day. But I was glad they didn't trust me with their cows. Because I was too inexperienced as a 10, 11, 12-year-old. Well, I was on the last threshing crew in the area in my 7th, 8th, 9th grade.
Would that have been like in the 40s?
Yeah, when?
Early 40s.
Early 40s,
Okay.
yeah.
So I remember the Depression, but I would go out to the dump, another toddler and we'd collect enough iron to get 10 cents from the junk dealer in town. As soon as we had 10 cents worth of scrap iron, we went to the drugstore. And the druggist got a pint of ice cream and cut it in half with a big butcher knife and gave us one of those little wooden spoons. We each had half a pint of ice cream for 10 cents.
10 cents.
And we didn't know the Depression was on.
Yeah,
Because you guys were living high with the ice cream. Oh my God, no, were you?
And every time the train came in, some of the hobos would get off and some of them would get on. And there were two camps, one by the canning factory, which was closed because of the Depression. But they had a wintertime stove and a bedroom at the old canning factory that was closed. And my mother asked me, "You didn't come home for lunch? Where were you?" I said, "Oh, the hobos gave me a hamburger out at the canning factory." Said, "You what?"
Yeah.
They provided iron beds, no mattresses, but they could, in the wintertime, spread out their bundle and be in a warm place. The camp in town was right behind the feed mill. And I talked to these guys every day as a toddler. Another of my best stories is that we had an old Model T with no motor in it. And so a bunch of us kids, we each took turns driving it. And the rest of us had to push.
Push. Okay.
And then we wanted to park it at night. And this mother said, "You're not parking that in front of my place." So the only place we could park it was down at the depot, in the parking lot for the depot. And that's where we parked it every night. But we had so much fun.
Oh my God.
I bet.
We each had a turn driving it, but you had to
Sure.
push in order to earn your turn.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
How about this machine? You know what this is?
No idea.
Looks like a muffler.
Yeah. Is it?
I fill this up with sausage.
Oh, it's
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen one that big.
Oh.
And then
Oh, sure, the
So
casing.
should then you make the
then you
casing
put the
in there?
casings over here and you twist them for how long you want them
Right.
to be. And the casings
I have never seen
are
them
from the
do that.
guts
Yep.
Of the
of
cow.
pigs or cows or whatever. And you move it forward until it's packed tight. And then you engage this part, which turns it at a much
Slower rate.
slower rate, and that's what that is. It's a sausage machine. And here is an incubator, and it's run with a kerosene lamp to heat the water. And inside is the temperature that you need to incubate eggs. So this is a Buckeye incubator, and it tells you where it has to be so that it's got different trays. So this was the technology
At the time.
at the time. And of course, all kinds of planes. Here's the type of pulley that the rope would have. Now this one, my splices, no matter what I did, they had a big enough area up here, but most of them aren't this generous. But everybody wants to give me more of these crosscut saws. But this is the buck saw, and I cut a lot of wood with this type of saw. And the X holder. And see, everybody wants to give me more of those, and I won't take any more.
You see, you got a good collection.
Yeah, I got a good collection.
When you milk by hand, eventually you'd get a full pail on your three-legged seat. And then you pour it into this, and then you pour it from that to a bigger one, or a 10-gallon can, and you'd take it to the spring house, where you could keep it cool until it was picked up, because we didn't have refrigerated trucks. And now this is all old technology. Everything that's picked up on the farm is in a refrigerated tank, automatically pumped in there, and they keep track of each
Yeah.
cow, and if it isn't producing enough milk. I built a workshop back here, and the golfing equipment that held a long bag of golf. Here it is, cut in half. And here is, I've got Mike Seeliger's name right here. He had a padlock and he had his golf bag in there. But this is only half
Of it. Oh my God. Oh wow.
Because I cut it in half and I mounted it on there's a ledge. And if you look at the bricks here, they're just laid up stone. And over here is a chimney. So originally, there was a chimney here for a small house that probably was a log house. And they tore it down and doubled the size of the basement so that the walls on the front half of this building are completely different masonry works than on the back half.
Oh wow.
This is where the trapdoor was in the pantry.
Oh.
So this was the inside stairway
Oh. Okay. Oh sure.
before they
Yeah.
cut it off
Sure.
and did away with the stairway for their pro shop, which was all across the back. I ran the sleigh rides
Oh, okay.
from 1976 until 2000.
And you just went out on the golf course?
Right. We had our own,
Own like path that you could run.
and ours were so much better than the ones the city did for their skiers. And we gave
Yeah.
2,000 rides in 2 afternoons.
Yeah.
It was the biggest money raiser that we had over the years.
Yeah.
But with football on Sundays, if I had to cancel, I had about 100 phone calls that I had to make, because each farmer with a
With the sleigh.
sleigh would bring one truck for his sleigh and
Okay. Okay.
and another truck for his horses.
Sure. How many sleigh did you have? Sleighs.
Well, I would have at least 25, 30 rigs out there.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh.
And I ran a competition on Best of Rally in 5 categories, and I gave out ribbons. I interviewed
wow.
the horse owners, and they told me the names of their horses and what
Sure,
the breed
sure.
was and so on. We put on quite a show.
Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh, that's neat.
And at the same time, we started the sleigh rides. We started the back porch concerts.
Thank you for your generous donations tonight. Those donations make it possible for us to maintain the Dean House, which was built in 1856. And we thank the Capital Accordsmen for donating their time and talents to make this possible. The Dean House is open for tours the second Sunday of every month from 2 until 4 o'clock, so you're welcome to come and visit us. The quilts that we have for a backdrop tonight, we thank the Monday morning Monona Quilters for sharing their beautiful quilts with us. They are called the 4-Patch Posy Quilts. They're all the same pattern, but different fabrics. And the quilters are Karen Lapidegas, Virginia Kimiak, April Jackson, Carolyn Smith. And we appreciate very much the talents of these ladies in making our backdrop as beautiful as it is. So at this time, help me to welcome our performers tonight, the Capital Accordsmen.
Ragtime Joe played an old piano in a honky-tonk cafe. When anyone requested a brand new tune, here's what Ragtime Joe would say. There'll be no new tunes on this old piano old piano line. There'll be no boogie-woogie or none of that jazz or any other kind of razzmatazz. I'll sing about Swanee, the old folks at home, the wide open spaces where the buffalo roam. There'll be no new tunes on this old piano of mine. But let me play Sweet Adeline, Sweet Adeline, my Adeline. You're the flower of my heart, Sweet Adeline, Sweet Adeline. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with my wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose. My rose, the bloom from my wild Irish rose. There'll be no new tunes on this old piano of mine. I'll play the old songs for you any old time on this old piano of mine. Of mine.
We don't have any paid staff. We get a pretty good turnout with contributions. A new furnace recently, $3,900. It costs us $5,000 to $8,000 or $9,000 just to run this place each year. And our 60 or so members paying $15 a piece or $25 a family doesn't come close to what it costs to run this place. When we put the new porch back on, one of my students at Winona Grove became an architect, and he did the architectural work for nothing, and it cost us $20,000 to put that porch back on.
Wow.
But Metcalf started us out with $1,000. He's no longer around to do that kind of contribution.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, wow.